The interesting development. I think to say majority ministers no must start absent or parliament meetings since the time Afenyo Kensan introduce the anti-LGBTQ plus Q minus division equal to sign into the parliament so many debating. They say NDC for no must start absent to now minister back from the minority side no have shared grievances na makonya video na asem we say me say me dwen ho enipa no bi no why na e ka no like why na e bom futuru gu ho ya di wa like who is doing the subterfuge here? Okay, let's think about this. Let's use common sense to ponder on it a little bit. So this is the Anti-Partisan Network, and my name is Johnson. And once again, welcome back to another episode of Common Sense Analysis. So, yeah, the enemy say, and I said the enemy say, the MPP, which is the Republican Party, globally, Sani will be an by sometimes different because of some inconsistency in it, you know. And I'm in trying I be pre. Man, am I in trying? No, don't say this way. This year, maybe the minimum say and can people for now me Republican Party. Or more than come here against LGBTQ plus because I'm not a traditionally minded political party. Or more dear, and your mother danwa, or ban or bema, asa, and one here, or buy your bar, or bema, or bar for bema, or bema for bar, as a case die, the natural order of things. By the NDC, which is the progressive people, the Democrats people. You on the left side for Omo madwin you almost say enipa no you bet we are making new discoveries. Omo do almost madwin mo bia to the point so madwin no e from trima to form. Omo do madwin e kwa ni too much. This you want be hu nyansa say o ma be hu nyansa say obema no obema betimi ada oba na oba betimi ada obema betimi ada ni oba na oba nso abeda ni obema. Like omo no mama be hu nyansa it is enki e penipa nko be introduce some bill sa anti-LGBTQ bill into parliament na ke NPP for now sen komode ko to begin with, but on says ye share reality you see and say during that time na do one power and the NDC for omo kokko introduce some bill into parliament, but during that time na Joe Biden, which is an opposition to the right side, omo ho no na America ho no na NDC for net so enti say NPP for no Ghana han sign NDC for no moti America no omo ma NPP for no haniska enti no ni choice bia dan say obetena so by me nka say the papa no ye shame. It's a very shameful thing say yet your country we cannot dictate and say yanka say direction your person the country far because of security. Enti one say western colonization na ye can one seven that they are always complaining about them. You see say yanka say near the ho shewu right. Enti one would ask, say, why is it that if indeed the NPP is supposed to, or is supposed to be the political party who has these principles, who supports this principle, this traditional kind of mindset, why isn't then them who introduced the bill into the parliament in the first place? Why did the NDC do that? Was it a political gimmick? Was it to do something with the campaign? Why did they do that? So now, we have gotten to the point whereby the NDC is now in power. And now the MPP is reintroducing the bill into the parliament. But now the NDC, who first introduced the bill into the parliament and actually fought for it to be signed, is now hesitating to sign it. So now you can understand why, to begin with, in the first place, they were not supposed to be the ones who were supposed to introduce the bill to begin with. Because if they were, why is it that its reintroduction it's causing some kind of absence in their or reducing their performance as ministers of state? Why is it being so? So now one can also ask that why is it that the MPP is reintroducing the bill right now if they didn't want to sign it in the first place? So why is it that they want it to be signed right now? So you can see that both sides, these two parties, they are involved in this shameful act of game. Like it's it's almost as if they think that nobody knows. They think that I don't know if to them they think the Ghanaian average person is not intelligent enough to figure out what they are doing. I do not know. I honestly don't know what they are doing. So let's listen to Mr. Abu's grievances about the absence of these majority ministers. He tells us about the percentage, the fraction of, or the ratio between the majority and the minority minister. I think it's quite educative. So let's watch the video.
A very important matter which goes to the foundation of our democracy. As you know, Parliament is a very important organ of government or state, and the business of Parliament is to be taken very seriously. Yesterday, the Speaker had cause to point out the disturbing trend or situation of absenteeism in Parliament when the business of Parliament is being conducted. Today, we came to Parliament, and on a count, there were only 81 members of Parliament in the chamber, and therefore the Deputy Minority Chief Whip raised the issue of quorum pursuant to Article 102 of our national constitution. And indeed, the Deputy Chief Whip made the point that we did not have quorum at the time the business of the House had commenced. The Speaker went through the process, and we've called this press conference to point out that the Ghanaian people went through a lot to elect us as members of Parliament.
But I'm assuming that the quorum is just a certain number of like appearance and I say absence, a presence in the Parliament that would, like qualify for the requirement needed for the Parliament to proceed. Like there have to be a certain number of ministers in the Parliament for the Parliament to proceed. And yes, Parliament to us. If the quorum is, let's say, 120 members, that means if 119 people, ministers attend, there's still one shot. So they have to adjourn the Parliament. I am assuming. I'm just learning on the job.
So generally speaking, all of us are expected to take our duties as members of Parliament seriously. And secondly, and in particular, for the first time in the fourth Republican dispensation, in the wisdom of the Ghanaian people, they elected a supermajority for this ninth Parliament. The NDC majority, the NDC group in this House, constitutes 189 out of the 276 members of Parliament. That is a supermajority, and that is 2/3 of all the members of Parliament, all the 276 members of Parliament. This is unprecedented. It's never happened before in the fourth Republican dispensation. Indeed, it's never even happened in the whole history of our country. And one will expect that out of this 189 of them,
and yet people for election, lose you. So oh, my serious, man. Lose your power. Hey, we're super majority at Casa. But also, wow. Why are they?
Even if 99 of them were to stay at home, they will still have the 90 members of Parliament required to form a quorum to do business. And indeed, as I pointed out on the floor of Parliament, they have the numbers by themselves to form a quorum to do business. They have the numbers by themselves to form a quorum to take decisions. They have the numbers by themselves to form a quorum to even take fundamental decisions, which requires 2/3 of all members of Parliament.
Then that basically means that the NDC is running the country, like on the post. That means that they basically have to take responsibility, like full responsibility. This is a big responsibility. Are they ready for this? Are they ready for this kind of responsibility? Because you are in charge of everything. So now, if things come crashing down, you don't have anybody else to blame. So the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. That would also suggest that the bigger the reward, the bigger the risk. In the same ways, what the landia, what the bell landing basakra. Let's just hope say on fan landing. The empire na but things are not looking quite good though. But empire
Parliament. And as one of them once said, they can run this ninth Parliament without the minority. And therefore, the question that many Ghanaians are asking, why are they not attending to the House? Why are they not taking their business as members of Parliament seriously? And why are they not showing up? And why is this majority turning out to be an absentee majority? And this is why we think we should communicate to the Ghanaian people who elected these 189 members of Parliament, who gave them the supermajority and 2/3, to know that we, the minority in this House, are very prepared, ready, and willing to help them conduct government business. But it will appear that they are not cooperating with the minority to get President Mohammed's business and government business to go through. And when that happens, it's the Ghanaian people who suffer. Today, on the other paper, we have a litany of important bills and important items which are required to be considered and taken by the House to get government business to move forward. And yet, we have had to wait to grapple with the issue of quorum. I want to conclude by making one other point. One will say that some of them are ministers. There's foreign minister, there's that, and they travel and all of that. But the point is, you have this big majority. And so even if the 16 ministers President Mahama has are all members of parliament, and all of them even are unable to attend to parliament, you have enough numbers, sufficient numbers to form quorum, to have quorum to conduct business, to have quorum to take decisions, and to ensure that the work of the legislature moves on smoothly, which will then ensure that the business of government is conducted efficiently for the good of the Ghanaian people. We think what is happening now is totally embarrassing, it's most unfortunate, and it's a situation where the majority is simply engaging dereliction of duty and taking the Ghanaian people for granted. We know that in the 8th Parliament, we had a hung parliament. There were 137 of them. And yet they were in parliament every day. Almost all wanted, 7 of them. They were in the house every day. Now they've got power. They are taking it.
But you see, this is the reason why I'm saying that these people, they are insincere. Like me, anytime I make a video, be insincere, I have to say. This man is very insincere. It's almost as if he doesn't know the situation. He knows. One more time, do you have one sign? And then one more time, do you have no pushing for the bill? So you know the reason why they are not coming, because they don't want the bill to be passed. President Mahama any business, no, the business say on person them. But at the same time, he doesn't want the Ghana, the majority knows say he doesn't want to sign because what else happen or lose public affection. These people, that's how they do. But when it comes to the NDC, their political the other style, like they like to win public affair, like affection. They want the public favor. It's too much. And sometimes it drives them in the corner where they have to lie to achieve some certain goals. Remember, I'm not here to judge anybody on their work or their profession, or politics. I believe, sir, you can either blame the victim or the criminal. It is two things. Normally, mostly, I blame the criminal. But there are some instances I blame the victim. So if they say this kind of neighborhood, it is a criminalized neighborhood, crime across Wahanum say there's at least 10 or 20 robberies across Wahanum say in this neighborhood. Now say we cross our neighborhood more around best about 1 o'clock matching during the night, then you will be waiting around a big sum of cash. Now say robbers banners or then they kill you in the process. I don't think we can put all the blame on the robbers. I mean, definitely they are in the wrong. Some Bible robbery with you, but at the same time, you provoke them. So I think we Ghanaians, we find ourselves in that kind of situation. These people, they are committing things to us, like they are doing things, but it is our fault because it's like we forget. Something can just happen 8 years ago, like we can just forget, like it never existed. It is uncanny, like I'm not doing. And you see, this is the reason why they keep getting away with it. And Kofi Omidnawe, last year, 1 year, Mayu, will be introducing bill in the parliament. Omukro na no man sign. Now the opposition in power. Now almost also introducing bill. Wababe John no more kasi because of say majority, the super majority ministers no more attend the parliament. They keep adjoining the minister. So now, and yes, they are wasting taxpayers' money. You want like we are paying them money for job that they are not doing, like and don't any consent. Like Obabe John Mobabe Kasate say, I said before be and with the LGBTQ issue. Like I said, or person say onim hwehwe. That is very insincere. And tisanke benya and kamimenya. That is the reason why I'm here right now. Say kamimenya and minister be Abu Jinapor so. And all can look when na ma yetia. All can with on the side no the opposite side. Right now. So when you bring back the past back and on also no like they will bury both cases. So they won't even make mention of the fact that the NDC is the first who introduced the bill into the parliament, but it did not pass. But now they are in the opposition. They are introducing the bill into the parliament. But the NDC does not have any choice because they want to win the public affection. And the public wants the bill to be passed. But right now, their party principle is like, it's for the motion, is to accept the LGBT community because they are the progressive people. They think that the LGBTQ people, they are like the new species of human being, new breed. I do not know. That's why I keep saying that new does not mean improved. New does not mean it's better than the old one. Sometimes new is just new. It could be trash, it could be garbage, but it's just new. So the NDC find itself in a position whereby the weapon that they used is the same weapon that is being used against them. So with the one by many the only way NPP for Befaso they can turn this situation into a victory is to come clean, is to tell the truth. Also, one kind of they have to come clean, tell the truth about their performance. The reason why international they all know, everybody know. Let's say your party. Me make one don't say we could and call drink kakra, but me their dream they know. And if they want us to know the truth, they can tell the truth. Me sure say between NPP and NDC, equal crime. They are the same people. That is the reason why I have assumed the identity of an anti-partisan. I'm not really like a political animal per se, but I'm a social animal. We are all human beings. So most of the things I talk about socio-economic issues. So I do not appreciate this minister, Mr. Abu's insincerity. I do not appreciate because they know, and I do not know why they keep like deceiving the public like that. I don't know, but I'm sure that just like how I said that there are some crimes where the victim is supposed to be blamed, I'm sure if the Ghanaian populace or the Ghanaian average mind or person could sort of like educate themselves, could learn and bring themselves to their level, I don't think they can be able to sort of like deceive us that much because it's too much. So let's continue.
The Ghanaian people for granted. I think it's most unfortunate and it's most embarrassing. You will see that the minority side of the house consistently have been featuring in the house. And if you look at it on a pro-rata basis, you will find that the minority members of parliament have been extremely diligent and extremely focused and discharging our duties by attending to the house. Well, one will also say that government business, that's what the majority there is, a leader of government business. The majority should be more interested, is their business, and they should be more interested in ensuring that government business goes through the house than anybody else. But the answer to it is that the minority have been very consistent in attending to the house. And indeed, the situation we have now, where there is a very extraordinary situation where absenteeism is becoming the norm rather than the exception, is because they have this super majority, 2/3 of them, 189 of them, who do not attend to the business of the house.
It's very funny. It's quite funny. It's like they don't know what they are talking about. So this is the anti-partisan network, and I say to Mr. Abu that NDC, MPP, you are both taking the Ghanaian people for granted. We do not appreciate the lies. We would like a little bit of clarity. I know that we are all human beings. We make mistakes. Sometimes you have to lie. Sometimes you have to create some certain elements to get what you want. It happens. The politics is politics. You come clean after the end of the day, or else you keep digging your hole for yourself. This is what they've been doing. This is what they are doing. If the young people could come clean right now, today, it will be less easier for them. Should they wait for another day? You understand? If they should come clean today, right now, and tell the truth, if the NDC should come clean today and tell the truth about everything that's been going in the country, it will be less difficult for them. Should they postpone it to tomorrow? Because as the day goes on, the more lies they keep piling up. So the more difficult it will be for them to explain themselves and their actions. So I believe it's time these people, they start treating us as yes, although Marco school, you have that school nyansa no family dem yenso se de na ye fi nyansa na ye wo no ebe dey ebe twin ye ma na mo beka no se ye ntimi ndi mo chi dwon to say first na yɛkɔto abakora na yɛtumi pra yɛ ho na yɛ kontɔkwa na yɛ gye bribe na yɛ gye ntoma ne saa sisi a menyɛ sure sɛ we have gotten to the point as I don't know, like it is openly accepted. Now people are frowning it. So obi yes to see I say on your guy. So this is the Anti-Partisan Network. Subscribe to my channel, like and see you in the next video. Thank you.